So in the previous class we saw that the knower cannot be known. If the knower is known, then it becomes object of known, not the knower. The experiencer cannot be experienced. If it is experienced, then it becomes object of experience, but not the experience. That's why also swasakshika bhava yata swena anubhuyate. The self is its own witness. And of course, it is known only by itself, it is experienced by itself, it is understood by itself. So how is it possible? Let us look at the verse 217. Jagrat swapna susuptisho sputataram yoso samujrumbhate प्रत्यक्रूपतया सदाहम अहमित्यन्तः स्फुरन्नैकधा नानाकार विकार भागिना ईमान पश्यन् अहं दिवखान् नित्यानंद चिदात्मना स्फुरति तम विधि स्तोमेतं हृदय. Says beautifully, tam vidhiti. So that you know. Okay. And how? Swam etat hrudi, in your heart as you. How? What are they? Very nicely says. Jagrat susas swapna susuptishu. So in Jagrat avastha, in waking state, in Swapna, in dream, also in Sushupti, in deep sleep, that which is sputataram, that which is clearly samujrumbhate, that which is manifest clearly. And how it manifests? Because in deep sleep one way, in dream another way, in waking also differently, because that's why they are called three different states of experiences. So how does it manifest? Pratyek rupataya. So it manifests as the inner self, means in whose presence the dream is a dream state, in whose presence waking state is waking state, in whose presence the deep sleep is deep sleep. And how is it? Sada, not once in a while, that is what the common. Aham, aham iti. As I, nothing else. And of course, what happens? Now, antara spuran ekadha, it starts shining in the same nana akara vikara bhaginaha. And later on, what happens? You can see. Now, different type of modifications. So, in these three fields of experiences, three states, only I, then of course related to their field, for example, waking state mainly, of course dream sleep also, dream also. It has its own, I has its different form and modification. And of course, then starts experiencing, Pashyan seeing, aham dhi mukha. So this becomes different, you know. This is ego, this is ahankara, this is lobha, this is moha, all these things. And nitya ananda chitatmana spurati iti. So the nitya ananda and chidatmana, chitatmana. So that means nitya, eternal, sat iti, ananda and chit, the atma as sachidananda, spurati shines, being known. That means in all the field, all the three fields of experiences, especially all this waking state, dream state and deep sleep state, that which exists, because of whose presence all these experiences happens, that is me, that is nothing but a chidatmana, that which really shines all the time. And that only shines as I, aham, iti, nothing else. But later on, with its all the modifications and many other things happens. That's why it starts, when it happens, the modification, I start witnessing them. That's why I say, look, I am having this buddhi, this intellect. I decide. When I say I decide, most of the time, I do not know what I decide. That's the problem. But whenever I say I decide, what does it mean? That means I am able to witness, supposed to, okay? I am able to visualize, if you don't want to use the word witness, I am able to visualize my thinking process or intellect. That I am able to visualize, that here not visualize, actually it is witness, visualize is the wrong word. I am able to witness. So that witness is me, that who witness. And that is everywhere. And that is in me, in my heart. Hridaya Guhaya, as myself. So that's why we need not be really carried away with reference to witnessing things. In fact, that is how supposed to be. In the law also is there. Who is called as a witness person? Generally, a witness who comes to the box, in the court, is not supposed to be attached to any party. It's not supposed to. But nowadays, evidence sake, they create witness, okay? And there are professional fellows are available, okay? They can stand any sort of interrogation and they can prove, lawyer, you are wrong, judge, you are wrong. However, here, how it happens, but here witness is the one who extends the support, in whose presence everything happens, but at the same time witnesses. That's why understanding more and more that I am witness will help me to withdraw or to function in a better way in a given situation. Can you see this point? I will give you a beautiful point how it happens. Let us say you are in overseas. I am starting giving you overseas, then I will come back. Okay? You are in overseas. You will see in front of you some people are fighting. What will you do? From a safe distance you will see, so that nobody should notice you. If you discover any camera or anything is or this mobile phone is moving, what you will do? You will try your best to escape from there. You understand? You will never be part of it. Those who are in overseas, they do it, okay? Anywhere they want to safe, because their passport should be in safe position, you understand? There should not be any unnecessary to be dragged to the police. Now same you are in your country. Let us say you land in Delhi or any country. Suppose there is some fight, what you will do? Will you go a little closer or not? What's going on? So especially South Indians in Delhi, they will keep quiet. In Chennai you land. Will you go, enough, you will start talking, because you will start practicing your Tamil, okay? What you have forgotten. So first thing is you have to start practicing your language. So that, hey, look, I belong to this thing. Now same thing happens, let us same fight happens in your colony or in your village, wherever. Now what will you do? You will interfere, hey, don't do this, don't do that. Will you do that or not? Without listening, without understanding, will you interfere or not? Now same fight happens in your family. What will you do? Don't ask, okay? So can you see the level of observation? That's why when you are in overseas, what happens? You don't bother with reference to incident. Do you have any problem? Only when you see the news, oh, that news was so serious. Oh, really? You will say, oh, really? I was there. Oh, really? You will never tell anybody. Oh, really? Oh, thank God. Or you see, okay, it's something good. Oh, really? It makes no difference to you. Because you were just an observer. Can you see this point? Wherever you are more involved, while observing, if the observer becomes the part of the observation, or the subject of the observation, or one of the object of the observation, now what happens? Accordingly, the impression continues. Can you see this point? But interestingly here, I am someone just as an observer. Interestingly, these people, when I tell not to work, they work exactly on that time. Full day didn't work. Morning they work, I said please, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you give me break. They left completely. Just few minutes back they have started. So now I have to practice to be an observer, okay? To be an observer, okay? What else to do? Sometimes I am thinking, I am not telling you jokes. Let us say, instead of your neighbor does this thing, what can you do? You cannot shout at him every time, okay? Let them do. Okay, fine. How? He gives the examples after examples, so let us read this example. Ghatodake bimbitamarka bimbam alokya mudho rabimeva manyate. Sorry, manyate, correct, I was right. Manyate alokya mudho rabimeva manyate tatha chidabhasamupadhisastham भ्रान्त्या अहमित्येव जडोऽभिमन्यते. So look, he gives the example, Ghatodake. So there is water in a pot. So in the water that is in a pot. Orka bimbam bimbitam iti. The sun is reflected. Now what happens? Now alokya, seeing this reflection, a common person, mudha, not a fool, okay? Mudha, fool, not necessary. Mudha means a common person, a deluded person. So a deluded person, what will do? Rabin eva manyate. So now what he does, very nicely, the person will start saying, hey look, Surya, Surya. So we'll consider that reflection is to be the sun itself. But in reality it is what? The sun. Sorry, it is a reflection, it is not sun. Now why it happens? Because the person is an ignorant person, is a deluded person. He has his own problem. Now he says, how it happens? Tatha, so too, chidabhasam. So chidabhasam, chit abhasa, the reflection of the consciousness, the chit. Upadhisthastam. Now it starts reflecting. Where it starts reflecting? In Upadhi. That is in Upadhi. Because connected with the Upadhi. And mainly what is this Upadhi? What is being present next to it, nearer to it? Called Vijnanamaya Kosha, the intellect. So now the reflection of the chit, the awareness, the consciousness, now caught in this Upadhi called my intellect. Now Bhrantiya, they are the deluded person. Here is a Bhrantiya because of again my delusion. Aham iti, that as I eva itself, jadaha abhimanyate. So that means what? Again what happens? Now that which is reflected, the consciousness, that which is reflected, where? In the buddhi. Now that is being considered as me, as myself. So whenever my mind is smart, intelligent, I call smart and intelligent. When I am dull, I am called dull, I am dumb. So the way the Upadhi reflects, like same example we can keep. Suppose a person who looks at the pot. Now there is sun. Wow, very happy. Now suddenly the wind moves the air. So wind moves this water, little bit shaking or something happens. Now sun is not available. Then what happens to the person? Oh, sun is missing. And of course, if the water is colorful, now the color of the sun changes. And if the pot is in a tilted way, half sun is on the pot, half sun outside, then you will say what? Now today sun is half, you understand? Half of the sun is missing. So somebody has eaten up. Like in our childhood we have been taught, there is a rabbit, rabbit in the moon, if I am right, they say. Hey look, the black spots are called rabbit, okay? Some cock and bull stories they create, and of course we believed it. So, how this can happen? Same thing also. Me, the awareness, the consciousness, that which is caught up, that which is reflected, that is really available with my intellect because of the proximity. And that intellect reflected me is considered as me. That's why me keeps changing. If I am as I am, I need not change. Every moment I change. Have you not observed? Because after all it is reflected me. So based on the reflecting medium, this is the point. Based on the reflecting medium, me changes. Even though me is changeless, in reality me is changeless. But my problem is I am looking at me as what? That which is reflected on or in here, there is no on, in a reflecting medium. So when it is being presented in this way, that which is reflected in reflecting medium is considered as me. Now based on the changes in the reflecting medium, I change. So that means whenever there is a change in me, what does it mean? The reflecting medium has changed. Can you see this point? So if the change is for good, that means my reflecting medium has changed for better. You want to get the point now? If the change is for worse, what does it mean? The reflecting medium has become worse, adulterated, diluted. So that is to be understood. That's why whenever I feel there is a change in me, whether it's for good or bad, there I need to look at my reflecting medium. Can you see this point? The more I start looking at my reflecting medium, then and there I become aware of the situation. But I never look at the reflecting medium. That's why mind judges everything and everybody, but mind never likes to be judged by itself. Have you not observed? So that's why beautifully, let's look at the next verse also. Ghatam jalam tadvat, Ghatam jalam tadgatamarkavimbam vihaya sarvam vinirikshate arkah tatastha etat tritaya yabhavasa tatastha etat tritaya vabhasakah Soyam prakasho vidusha yatha tatha. Very nicely again. But if we look at what does here the wise person does? Ghatam jalam tadgatam, because that is a common person, this is a wise person way of perception. Because common person, while looking at the reflected sun, consider as that sun, that is sun. Whereas a wise person goes all the way around. In fact, this is what we do technically. I think I have taught this particular point to all of you. And this was the concept of taking bath and giving arghyam to Surya. There are different ways, like pour the water. Sometimes, in fact, that is how it's been done also. Like especially when you are in water body, generally there are rules of snanam, vedhi. Technically it was there like that. Now things have changed. Like Sandhya Vandanam was done when you are in the water. Like up to navel region water has to be there. So from there you lift the water and do it with the both palms. So interestingly, when you lift, so both way you can look at the sun. Also you need not look at the sun. So you can look at the reflection of the sun on your palm. So the water when is there in Anjali, now you look at the sun. When you look at the reflection of the sun and you look at not sun, reflection, you consider that is sun. You understand? That gives you a big energy. In fact, a upasaka looks at that way. That's why we have a lot of upasanas. In fact, when I was talking about in Shiva Samhita Chaya Upasana, I hope you remember. So, a shadow Upasana, how many of you have done? At least few times. Any of you have done? No? Huh? Okay, one. Okay, very good. So Chaya Upasana, we have talked a lot. Okay, all these things you kept it aside. Okay, over chapter is done. How many of you are okay? Now let me not get into. Chaya Upasana does a great job. But really does a very good job. So these are the tricks and techniques. Okay. However, coming back here, how that Upasaka looks at that way. Here he says, a wise person, of course, it's one step ahead. Ghatam jalam tadgatam arkabimbam sarvam bihaya sarvam vinirikshate arkaha iti. Now, a person when looks at the reflection of the sun on a water surface, that is in a jar or in a pot, the jar I'm looking at, in a ghata pot, what does he do? He leaves behind. He does not bother. In fact, he never looks at that there is a pot. He never looks at that there is a water. And of course, he doesn't bother that there is a reflection. But he looks at, look, this is the sun itself. Can you see this point? So the whole thing is sun. As that means the person doesn't see anything. For the person, it is the sun. Now, same thing also. Here what happens? Tatastha etat tritaya avabhasaka swayam prakash vidusha. As yatha, as it happens in that way, tatha, in the same manner, a vidusa, by the wise person. Now what does do? Now look, definitely looks at tritaya avabhasaka, illuminator of this three state of experiences, and with that self swayam prakasa, that which is self luminous, self effulgent, and it does not shines after anything. And this vidusa, a wise person, looks at, keeping aside the reflecting medium called here the mind or intellect. Whereas a common person only behind the reflecting medium called upadhi. So based on the upadhi, that's why whole life you work on to take care of your upadhi. Last time somebody said, look, why I am after all this power and position and especially all sort of recognition. Upadhi, na? Upadhi is also another word is called recognition, okay? Because it's a Padma Upadhi, okay? Padma is Upadhi. This award, Padma award, okay? So Padma Shri, Padma means related to Padma, Indian thing. Money came, so that's why it becoming same way. So Upadhi means what? To take care of my inside Upadhi, you understand? I have a Padma. See, at least nothing. You are assured if there is a Padma in India, it's a good point actually, to be very honest. If there is a Padma when you are alive, one thing is very sure, after your death, there will be, you understand? So you will get gun salute, okay? So government has to do that much at least, okay? Gun salute, and there will be tricolor flag, very nice they do it. So that means what? You will be assured that you will not die, or during your death time you will not be left alone. No, sorry, after death I made mistake, sorry. During death time you can be alone. I have to rectify myself, okay? During death time you can be alone. But definitely, after death you will never become alone, okay? So there is no chance of your body stinking. They will take care, that much is assured. Coming back. So how this happens? That how this upadhi keeps changing and I change, but here a wise person does not look at Upadhi but look at one's own self through this example. Now let's read the next. Deham dhyam chit pratibimbam evam visrujya buddho nihitam guhayam. Drashtharamatmanam akhanda bodham sarva prakasam satsat vilakshanam. Says beautifully again. Deham dhyam chit pratibimbam evam visrujya. So that means what? What one need to do? Visrujya, keeping all these things aside, means not giving importance to this. What are they? Starting with deham, this body, and of course dhyam, the intellect, in between all other kosas, okay? Starting with annamaya kosa, ending with vijnanamaya kosa. All other three also are included. Now, chit pratibimbam, of course the reflection of this consciousness, evam visrujya. So you need to really keep this thing aside, means don't give importance. Buddho nihitam guhayam drashtaram atmanam. So what is need to be done? Now buddho nihitam. So that which is present in the buddhi. And of course, what is not ordinary buddhi? Buddho guhaya, in the cave of the intellect. And as what? As drashtaram, as the seer, that which witnesses. And interestingly, atmanam, that self is what? Akhanda bodham. So the bodham means the knowledge, that which is absolute. Sarva prakasam, that which illumines all or everything. Interestingly, sat asat vilakshana. So that which is free from, distinct from existence and non-existence. Because of whose presence everything exists. And of course, that is the drashtaram, that is the seer, that is me. In fact, this continues also next verse, same thing continues. It's a really continuation process. Let us read also. And what are again that? Nityam vibhum sarvagatam susuksmam antarvai sunyam anantamatmanah vigyaya samyak nijarupam etat puman vipatma virajo vimurtyo. Says not only that, nityam, that which is eternal. Vibhum, sarvavyapi, all pervading. Sarvagatam, that which is everywhere, omnipresent. Susukshmam, being the cause of Hiranyagarbha, supreme subtle. Antarvai shunyam. So that means antarvai, free from, or that is neither it has got anything called inside or outside. And at the same time, ananyam. Sorry, anantyam it should be. Ananyam, correct. Ananyam. Ananya means na anya vidyate. There is no second. There is nothing called other. And that Atmanaha, Vigyaya, to be known as what? Samyak, completely, Nija Rupam, as what? As one's own nature. And beautifully says, Etat Puma, the one who knows in this manner, that person becomes what? Vipatma. So Vipatma means the one who is free from omissions and commissions. Means who is not part of papas. And of course, Virajaha, free from all sort of blemish. Vimurtyuhu, the one who is free from death. And how is it possible? These 3 points we can look at. Because this is what. Simple thing is, that time we commit mistakes, there is omission commissions. When the observer becomes part of the observed scenario, whenever the observer becomes the part of the observed scenario, there is a possibility of any sort of omissions and commissions. Yes or no? Because the moment you become part of it, there has to be some omissions and commissions. Neither you can help. And more you are closed, more you are involved in the observed scenario, there is more possibility of making mistakes or not. And that is what we do it all the time. So that's why today, whatever I was posting, like attachment. So when there is attachment, there is mistake. Whether you like it or not. So because attachment makes you to make mistake. With attachment, it is very difficult not to make mistake. Try. It's not going to happen. Some way or other you will make mistake. So that's why, yes, it's Vipatma. The person becomes free from omissions and commissions. Because understanding that I am observer, not part of the observed scenario. Virajaha, free from blemish. And of course you are part of any observed scenario, you will make mistake, you want to take credit, and more you try to take credit, only you get discredit. You understand? In life, one thing I have understood. The more you try to take credit, only you will get discredit. That's why Lord Krishna used to highlight in all, if you look at whole Mahabharata especially, he was least bothered about credit. In fact, if you understand, Lord Krishna was having more discredit than anybody. All wrong words are used for him from his childhood, okay? We say, starting with uncle killer. You understand? Nobody kills uncle. That fellow was born to kill his own uncle. Can you believe it? You look at anything wrong, Lord Krishna has it on. I'm sorry to say. But he had a purpose. That's why, in fact, he was born for all this purpose. That's why we say very carefully, clearly, never try to understand, follow Rama, understand Krishna. If you do other way around, trying to understand Rama and following Krishna, disaster in your life. Many people try to follow Krishna, you understand? Krishna had a beautiful life. Honestly tell you, he has a horrible life. You cannot think of. But every situation he made as an opportunity. Imagine, long before you are going to be born, like before 7 children, already your parents in the jail. What sort of psychological impact you will have when you are in the womb? And of course, course, while growing up, every day demons comes to kill. Not only because of you, all the young children were killed in the whole area, whole locality. What sort of impact you will have? Then as you become a teenager, you become little rebellious, or you try to question. Now anything goes wrong because he questioned, all these things happen. For example, that questioning the Indra Pujya. So everywhere he went through tough time, but what he did, he converted into. So why I stress this point? More you try to take credit, the more you will get discredit. Don't worry. That's why never ever, this is the one thing one has to learn. Never ever look for credit in your life. You continue, whatever has to happen, happen. And what is credit, discredit? As long as your liking is matching, or there is hope that I will be able to take care of you, you will give me a credit. It is like a bank. How long bank gives you credit? As long as they know that you will pay back with interest. Because there is no greater mafia than the bankers. And the credit card fellows are worse. In fact, I was talking to one banker. He said, how? Because he was working with the credit card system. He said, look, actually credit card system is, bankers are the number one liars. We don't give clear picture to anybody, especially credit card. So people ignorant makes us make money. So more people are ignorant, more we make money. The person was really openly saying, I said, what are you doing? Yes, this is the truth, Swami. That's why in India especially, I am telling openly, you will be shocked to know, lawyers and journalists are not giving credit card. In India, if you are a lawyer, very difficult to get a credit card. Unless you are a law firm and a big fellow, that's a different thing altogether, or some other way you can get it. Because what happens, lawyer, they do it, they use the credit card, then after that if they discover some extra money has come here and there will be some here and there. So they calculate something is wrong. So what they do is, next month they will use nicely, properly, then they will file a case. So as per the rule, unless the case is cleared, officially they cannot claim. So let the case continue for a few years. So that's why in India, if you say that I am a lawyer, it is very difficult to get a credit card. So coming back to the point, why I am trying to highlight here is, the credit is nothing. Credit comes as long as there is a hope, or you are able to take care of somebody's hope. Please remember. The day the other person discovers that you will never address the hope of the person, same person will give you discredit. But what happens to all of us? The credit makes us to go crazy. Have you not observed? If somebody praises, somebody says something, what happens to all of us? We completely get diverted. I'll give you a beautiful example with this. I'll stop it. I don't know why I got into this mode today. There is in Mahabharata, there is one beautiful thing. There was one great, warrior called he was Maharathi actually. In fact, he was one of the person who died towards end. His name was called Salya, who happens to be own uncle of Pandavas, especially Nakul and Sahadeva, last two. He came with 2 Akshvahini Sena. Okay, huge number. I have to calculate Akshvahini because there is a big confusion. So far I didn't get the exact number. Okay, what is Akshvahini? Let us say, definitely it will go to million. Okay, so he came 2 Akshvahini Sena because that time in the crucial moment, Kaurav portion was having 9 Akshayani Sena, and Pandavas were having 7. And these 2 were coming to Pandava as per the rule. So that means it will be balanced 9-9. You understand? Now this Salya was coming. This Duryodhana created a plot, praised him in so big way, took care of him on the way in such a way, this fellow completely forgot and gave a word. Because in whole Mahabharata, this is a beautiful point to observe, it is only respecting words. Everybody has given their life to protect their words. Nobody has given out of their words. Whatever has come out from their mouth, everybody has protected. That is called greatness. Not like, changed mind, okay, sorry, I was in different mood, I told you. No, doesn't work. Whatever has come out, they have protected till the end. In fact, many have died. In fact, this is the best case. So he got carried away with the praises of this opposition party. Came to know later on, but he said, look, I am at your service. Because he said, I am at your service, now he is supposed to go back to other party. He did not go. When his own nephew came and met him, look, he said, I am sorry, I made a mistake. But I didn't have any choice, I have given my words, I have to protect. And that is how the Kauravas got 11 Akshayani and Pandavas only had 7. Can you see this point? How this suddenly the calculation changed completely. And this, when war this happened, interestingly, just I am trying to say, because he protected his words and he got carried away. In fact, because he was praised, just I am trying to tell you, and the same Salya was blamed all the time. And it went to that extent, he was degraded from a great king, from great warrior to a charioteer. Because he became charioteer of, if all of you know, Karna. In fact, Karna died because of him. So he became the cause of Karna's death. One of the causes. Not, there are many factors, but one of the causes. What I am highlighting here is, I diverted topic, that praise or credit, discredit, it goes like that. And of course, second thing comes, Vimurtyu, the person, third thing, Vimurtyu, the person is free from death. Because there is no sense of fear. So if there is no sense of fear, there is no sense of loss, now tell me, what is death? And moreover, when one is with one's own self, where is fear? The fear is nothing but thinking of uncertainty, dwelling upon uncertainty, associating with uncertainty. Can you see this point? The more I associate myself with uncertainty, the more I am having fear. In fact, unless there is a doubt, there cannot be fear. Death doesn't, in fact, if you look at it, please don't misunderstand me. This example called terrorist example. Terrorists know that any moment they will die. In fact, they are ready to die. Do they have fear of death? They are very clear. They are very sure. Towards the end, what happens? There is another altogether. Like for example, in Indian case, the one terrorist who has been caught, Mr. Kashyap, okay, that fellow. After enjoying, few lakhs of rupees food and whatnot, he will order, I want this kebab from this hotel. And government had to pay for it. And because they wanted to get data from him, of course then only he tried to, when they tried to interrogate, and they finally they discovered how fearful he was having. That means when there is doubt, there is only fear. This is the point I would like to highlight. When there is doubt, when there is confusion, there is fear. If there is no doubt, if there is no confusion, there cannot be, need not be fear. Can you see this point? So here, the person is vimrityu, free from death, free from fear. And of course, it says, yeah, we can look at one more verse. No, we'll see later on. So he says, Vishoka Ananda Ghanaha Vipasyit Swayam Kutasyit Na Vibheti Kasyit Nanyosti Panthya Bhavanda Mukte Bina Swataha Tvavagamam Mokshoho. Of course, the person is free from grief and of course full of Anandam. And this wise person, Swayam Kutasyit Na Vibheti, is not afraid of anything at all. And of course, when you are not afraid of anything, nobody will be afraid of you either. Kasyit nanya asti, there is nothing. And of course, there is no other path, bhavavanda mukte, there is no other means to release oneself of the samsara. And other than what? What is that? Swata tvavagamam, understanding one's own self. And who is that person? Mumukshoho, the one who is interested in liberation. We will see in details tomorrow. Please close your eyes. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.